Hello and welcome to our channel, to our AutoCAD lessons. You are highly welcome as you are joining us in this lesson. We'll be looking at using the mouse, using the buttons on the mouse. So we'll be looking at using the buttons on the mouse. So I will take time out to explain the functions of the buttons and the middle mouse scroll button, what they actually do. So basically, when you're making use of AutoCAD, the mouse is very, very important. And most times you are going to be left clicking. When I use the word click, if I don't add left click, know that I'm referring to left click. So for instance, right now, in the previous lesson, when I wanted to draw the rectangle, like this rectangle here, I drew this rectangle in the previous lesson. Okay, for those of you who were not there, let me just quickly illustrate how to draw it once again. Let me show that. Let me delete this one and draw a new one. So before I could draw that rectangle, I had to go to rectangle here, rectangle command. I had to pick up the rectangle command. So how do I pick it up? I left click on it. That was how I was able to pick it up. So most times the left mouse button is used to pick commands. You're going to use it a whole lot. So like when I click on that rectangle, I left click on it. It told me specify first corner point. So my first corner point was 0,0. So I'm going to type that right now, 0,0. I press enter. It now told me on the command line, specify other corner point. The other corner point was the upper right-hand corner, which was 150,100. Okay. So that was that. That was actually that. Okay. Now, I told you about limits. That actually defined our limits. Okay. So now, let's assume I want to select this rectangle that I've just drawn, which actually describes our drawing area, our limit. How am I going to do that? Let me press Ctrl A on my keyboard. I'll press Ctrl and A together. I'll hold Ctrl down and hold A. Doing that actually selects the rectangle. So now, let's assume I want to erase. I can right click. I right click. On right clicking, this window pops up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth command, what we have there is what? Erase. I can click on erase to erase what I've just drawn. So let me do that now, right now. Okay. So it deletes the rectangle I drew. It deletes the boundary. It deletes the rectangle that was used to show the boundary, to show the limits. It deletes it out of drawing, takes it out of the drawing. So let me assume I did that in error. It was a mistake. The deletion was a mistake, that I want my drawing back. What do? I go to my keyboard, I press Ctrl down and I press Z, and it brings back my drawing back. So let me quickly go back. First and foremost, we drew this rectangle. we click left click here. Then we now select it by using Control and A. We hold control key down and press A. We now selected the rectangle. And then we now wanted to delete it. We right click. On right clicking, it gave us a whole lot of commands. But since we want to erase it, we look for the erase command, which is the one highlighted here right now. I will click on it. I took it off. Now let me bring it back. So I've actually shown you how to use the left mouse button and the right mouse button. Well, how about the middle mouse button? The middle mouse button is very, very, very important and can be used for a whole lot of items. Okay, take for instance right now that our drawing is centralized. How about, let's assume I want to move it towards the left-hand side for maybe one reason or the other. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? There's what they call panning. I'm going to pan it to the left. I can move it to the left. That is pan to the left. I can move it to the right. That is pan to the right. How am I going to achieve that? What do I do to achieve it? To pan to the left, to pan to the right? All I'm going to do is I'm going to press the middle mouse button. When I press it, this is my cursor here. My cursor is like a plus sign. When I press the middle mouse button, it's going to change to a hand symbol. Then I'm pressing down my middle mouse button. It's not released. If I release it, it will change back to the normal plus sign for the cursor. So let me press it down again. Then I want to move this rectangle to the left. So I will just shift my mouse while holding it down towards the left till I get to the point where I want the rectangle to be stationed, and I'll release the mouse and the rectangle is stationed there. This is called panning. So if I want to move to the right, the same thing. I come over here, I move my cursor over here to the center. I move my cursor to the center. Then I press it down. Then I shift it towards the right. On shifting towards the right, I shift my cursor while still holding down the middle mouse button. I shift the mouse. I drag the mouse towards the right till I get to the point where I want the rectangle to be stationed, and I release it. And that is achieved. So this is called panning. You use the middle mouse button to pan. You can also use this on the navigation wheel. You can use this symbol here, this second symbol and symbol to pan. You can use that to pan, but it is much more convenient when you have a mouse that has a middle mouse button and is functioning properly. Okay. So now next, what's the next thing you can use your mouse to do? You can actually roll your mouse up and down. So what is the purpose of rolling the mouse up or down? You can actually, let's assume now this drawing I have here is quite big. If I want to make it smaller, what do I do? If I want to make it smaller, all I need to do is just to move my cursor towards the drawing, close to the drawing, or around the drawing. When I move my cursor around the drawing, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to roll my cursor backward. As I'm rolling backward, the drawing will start shrinking. If I want to make it larger once again, I roll my cursor forward. So if I want to make it smaller, I roll it backward. This is called zoom out. I'm zooming out. of the drawing. If I want to make it larger, I zoom in by rolling forward. So that is the function of your middle mouse button. Okay. So let me roll it out again. It's very, very small. Now this zoom extend now. I can use zoom extend to bring it up to the standard size. If I click on zoom extend, this is zoom extend. It brings it back. This is my drawing limit, the standard size right now, displayed on the screen. Okay. This is the standard size. Okay, so that is the purpose of the middle mouse button. So as we go on, you learn a lot of things you can actually do with the buttons, the left click button and the right click button, the right hand side button, which you use to right click. So with this, we've actually come to the end of our lesson for today. So if you have any question, I would like you to drop your comments in the comment section, and I'm going to respond to them. Also, if you want to chat me up on WhatsApp, you can connect with me via +234 803829 5185. Please, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, like my video, and drop your comments. And we are going to actually meet in the next lesson. In the next lesson, we'll start drawing lines. We'll start drawing lines. So I wish you a good time. Just watch out for our next lesson, which is going to be lesson 4. So, bye.